You ready for the video?
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Here we are.
Awesome. Present practice. What is vibing? This is Vish and
Brody.
And today we'll be responding to Sadhguru's video on
how to nurture a child's innate genius. We're going to explore that together today.
Yes, absolutely. Today I'm here with Brody. Wanna introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Brody Gamble. On Instagram I go by the Mystic Bro if you wanted to connect on there. And a little bit about myself, born and raised here in Texas, Waco, Texas. God bless Texas, I love Texas. Traveled all over the place and just always make it back home here. And yeah, glad to be here. And right now my intention is just to spread my roots and blossom some flowers and bear some fruit and share my fruit and flowers with all my friends.
Awesome, I love that. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
And what are some things that you do on a day-to-day basis, whether it's content creation-wise or anything along those lines?
Well, I mean, content creation-wise, I just live life.
Okay.
And life is filled with beautiful moments.
Yes.
And I like to capture these beautiful moments and share them with my friends, particularly on the Instagram and on the Facebook, and I save them for myself too.
Awesome.
But just like my insights and as you know, enjoy and live life, and just capture those in the moments. And so I do a lot of just when I say live life, work on some fun projects and kind of record some progress with the projects, and go to some fun, rich cultural events, and just capture all the beautiful talent and beautiful people expressing all the their hearts and expressing their minds, and so capture that, and just insights that come through within my mind, share that, and just, yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing. And where can they find you? You said Instagram, your handle?
Yeah, on the Instagram, I am most active on that platform, and it's mystic_bro_.
Sweet. And his stuff will be down below in the description. Sadhguru is a yogi, mystic, and visionary. And with that,
let's get into the video.
Awesome, man.
I read your book. It was amazing, and what caught my eye, and what I was amazed that early, when you were a child, you realized that you have those powers, and you started really going deeper and meditating. Someone actually taught you how to meditate and go through that. What do you do with a child that is that deep? And I do have a child like that, and sometimes I want to push her towards this is right, but I'm a huge believer in what you actually went on.
We must understand this. A child is not an industrial product. A child is a life, a fresh life. You are supposed to nurture this life. It's not that you put it through some kind of a industrial process called a school. It's like an industry. Everybody's taught the same damn thing, everybody's supposed to go through the same thing and come out the same way and find a job and serve something somewhere. This is not what human life is about. There is an innate genius in every human being. Do we have the patience and the commitment and the dedication to pay the necessary attention to bring that out in a specific human being? That's a big question. Otherwise, you will produce dumplings, all the same, okay? So, once you have a child, before you have a child, you must understand, a child means a 20-year project, full on. That is if they do well. If they don't do well, it's a lifelong project. Because it's a life. One life may blossom at 12, another may blossom at 40. Do you have the patience to nurture that life? Or have you already set a thing, by the time you finish your high school, you must be in this university, that university, you must be doing this or that. It's all fixed up, common prescription for all life. This is what we're doing, this is supposed to be civilization. This is not civilization, this is just escape from life. We want to escape the fundamental process of life. In tribal societies and other traditional societies, even today, nobody expects a man or a woman has to become like this at a certain time. Depending on each life, how they progress, everybody is valued for who they are. If you plant this chrysanthemum in your house, in 3 months it's full of flower. If you plant an oak tree, 8 years, 10 years, nothing happens. So you want to chop it down? Hello? None of them would be. If you went by the standard, see this one, how well it is doing in 3 months, how many flowers, you fool, you're doing nothing. This is not the way to handle life, isn't it? This is not an industrial product. So, I know there are other compulsions in the society, various limitations. Keeping all those in mind, fundamentally we must understand life needs nurture, atmosphere, not fixing. Nothing to be fixed about it. It just needs an atmosphere where it will flourish best. What grows in Southern California will not grow in Minnesota, isn't it? That kind of life needs that kind of atmosphere, that kind of nurture, only then it'll happen. So this is something that we have to pay attention to. There is no involvement. We want everything ready-made. We are looking at a ready-made solution. There's no ready-made solution to life. Life can only happen with enormous involvement. There is simply no other way to do it. Where there is no involvement, there is no experience of life, isn't it? Hello? Yes. Whether it's a simple food that you eat or something that you look at or whom you live with or what you do or at the highest level, whatever you do in your life, without involvement, there is no life. But right now, modern societies are trying to do life with information, not with involvement. This is a big mistake. You have no information about your child. You can go to all the variety of doctors and get all their ideas about what your child is. All they will tell you is that he's sick in 100 different ways. Okay? No, you don't need information about your child, you need involvement. With involvement, you will bring that life to its best. It need not be as good as somebody else or as bad as somebody else because it's a unique life. Is there one life like another? No. It's a unique life. So, but from day one, we are comparing it to another life and trying to make it like that one. This is a very cruel process for the child. A child never understands what the hell the parents want. I never understood. Nobody ever explained to me why the hell I should go to this school. So I never went. Because nobody explained to me why I have to go to school. They said, no, you have to go to school. Why? I'm doing fine. Why should I go to school? No, because we think information is going to transform us. No, information facilitates a few things, but it's involvement which transforms us, isn't it? Absolute involvement in something, it doesn't matter what it is. Total involvement with something, suddenly you find that human being is of a different nature, isn't it? So, that's all it takes, involvement.
So Brody, what'd you think about that?
I thought he was spot on, dude. Particularly like with it takes involvement, it takes participation in life, and especially, with children, and as a parent, involvement in your child's life and involvement in like creating an atmosphere for that child to, live life and learn and love and receive love.
Absolutely, I appreciate you sharing that. I think you definitely hit upon a very important point as to what Sadhguru himself was talking about, which was the idea that you want to focus on involvement over information, right? We tend to be so prescribed with this information on this is how you should live and follow this formula sheet and then you'll get from point A to point Z. But the reality is we all have different starting points and different positions. I'm curious, with regards to involvement versus information, what do you think about that? And like how, is there something you can relate with regards to how, let's say you were to have a child, do you think this video has changed how you bring up a kid?
It's just, I feel like it is reinforced, like the ideas and my belief and calling and instinct to be present with, you know, a child, or, you know, especially like my child, or
Yeah.
whenever I would have my child, it's certainly, you know, I want to be present for the child. I want to have plenty of time for my family.
Yes.
Because that's very important to me. It's like just being present with my family.
Yes.
And, you know, being there for my children and helping my children, you know, really experience life. And, you know, of course, like, information is good, but, like, you know, information about my experience and sharing that with the child as he or she will go through, like, is going through an experience. Like, I share my knowledge, but it's more like, you know, my wisdom. It's you know, from my, so just, I mean, that's involvement. Like, it's so important to be there for the children.
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that as well. And I very much relate with what you were saying, as well as what Sadhguru himself was saying. I mean, coming from like a Asian American type of background, there is for sure this whole type of expectation that you must, you know, for example, be a doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. And you know, it's very interesting. I mean, the way he described, people would never really tell you why school. They just say do school, right? There's not much of a questioning.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you maybe could connect with regards to like schooling? What was your schooling experience like? Did you enjoy it? Did you not?
I enjoyed it. The parts of it that I enjoyed and parts of it that I did not like.
Okay.
You know.
Do you think it helped you become the person you are today, or if you had the choice to go back and do something different with schooling, would you?
If I were to go back and do anything different, I'd participate in, you know, subjects that really appeal and interest to me, and, you know, really like fuel that desire to, you know, learn and to. I mean, there's some value that, you know, this education system provides, and, you know, helping us like provide, like, especially like in the like elective classes, like in classes that you can choose to, you know, areas of life to explore.
Yes.
And so that's great. I would have gone back and explored more of the things that I was interested in. Honestly, like, I was kind of.
What were some topics?
I really appreciated my theory of knowledge class.
Okay.
It was an elective that we were able to choose. And what theory of knowledge is just an exploration of the different, like, philosophies.
Okay.
Of that humanity has constructed and played with.
Gotcha.
And so I got to explore how other people in the world have seen the world.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And I definitely relate with that too. I mean, growing up, I would definitely take certain subjects just to get out of the way, but I think it's super important to allow for the individual to pick what they want, right? What they're interested in. As he says, I mean, Sadhguru in the video itself, a plant that's, you know, native to California wouldn't be as optimally grown in New York, for instance, right? Because it's a whole different environment. So really providing that type of nurturing, I think the keyword I noticed he was mentioning was nurture, right? And so the way you nurture a plant, you should also nurture a child. And I think it's very, very important. And also, going off of that, you had mentioned curiosity is something that's very important to you. Do you want to maybe talk about that, so why it's important to you and what curiosity means to you in general?
Curiosity means, like, for me, just inquiring about things that I'm curious about. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm curious and, like, you know, meditation.
Yes.
And so I ask questions like, how does one meditate? What is meditation? Mm-hmm. And, you know, how can I really make the most out of this experience? And
yes.
Yeah.
Very cool. And have you meditated yourself before?
Yes, I've been meditating for quite a few years now.
Nice. And what kind of meditation is that?
A lot of it is just essentially just paying attention to what comes in my mind, mm-hmm. but not being attached to it, and, like, letting it flow.
Just observing.
Yeah, and then also, like, practicing and affirming positive, like, thinking and affirmations, and just really, like, thinking and getting clarity on, like, you know, life.
Yes. Awesome.
My life.
There we go. Sweet. And thank you so much for being here and sharing your views as well as responses to this video that we just watched together.
Yeah, man.
And don't forget to check out Brody, who will also be in the description down below.
Yeah.
And I want to appreciate you all for watching this and taking this time. And if you have any other video requests, you can also comment that down below. With that, make your 8th day, take it joyfully, and stay conscious. Thank you so much for being here. You did awesome.
Peace. Aloha.
There we go.
Namaste.
Cool.